U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has been in Seoul on the first leg of his Asia trip. This is his fifth visit to Asia as Secretary of State and comes before the newly announced visit by U.S. President Barack Obama. Obama will be in the region in April. CCTV correspondent Eugene Jung joins us live now from Seoul with more on this visit.
Right, John Kerry is on his way to Beijing this morning as we speak, and during his one-night stay here in South Korea, Kerry said he wants to reconfirm that Asia remains a top priority for the Obama administration. Now, he also said the United States will not accept the DPRK as a nuclear armed state and that there will be no talks with Pyongyang just for the sake of talking. Now, here's more from the press conference.
The top U.S. and South Korean diplomats on Thursday called on Pyongyang to refrain from linking the family reunions with the U.S. and ROK joint military drills. John Kerry spoke at a joint news conference with South Korean Foreign Minister Yoon Byung-se in Seoul, about 50 kilometers south from the heavily fortified inter-Korean border.
The United States does not believe that it is appropriate to link humanitarian issues such as reunification with any other issue.
His visit comes one day after Seoul and Pyongyang held their first high-level talks in 7 years. At the meeting, the DPRK demanded scheduled U.S. ROK military drills be pushed back by 2 days to avoid overlapping with planned reunions of separated families next week. A second round of such talks will take place on Friday. Pyongyang's latest demand could be seen as a step down, as previously they called for the U.S. and ROK military exercises to be canceled completely. The latest example of conflicting signals coming from the DPRK, including an abrupt withdrawal of an invitation for a U.S. diplomat over the weekend. Earlier this week, Seoul's defense chief told Parliament that there are signs that Pyongyang is ready for a nuclear test.
Preparations for a nuclear test in the Punggye area have ended. However, there are no imminent signs that the test will be carried out.
In Seoul, Kerry urged for China's role in pushing the DPRK to curb its nuclear ambitions.
Our belief is that China can do more now to urge North Korea to begin taking action to come into compliance with its international obligations. And I will encourage China to use all of the means at its disposal to do so.
Kerry is likely to take the subject up with Chinese officials when he travels to Beijing on Friday.
Eugene, the second round of high-level inter-Korea talks are going to start on the Korean Peninsula within the next hour. The first one, as you know, did not end with any agreement or joint statement. So what can we expect from this latest meeting?
Right, there was no progress at the first meeting, Mike. It was the DPRK, though, who suggested today's talks. But just like the first one, the two sides are meeting at the Truth Village of Panmunjom without a predefined agenda. Now, the focus is likely going to be on the family reunions planned for next week. They're going to start next Thursday. The family reunion of such hasn't really happened in more than 3 years, but it's still unclear whether they take place next week because there is a 2-day overlap of the reunions and the planned U.S. and ROK military drills. Now, as Kerry said, the exercises are exactly the same as previous years, and that he said there's no legitimate excuse for the DPRK to link it with the family reunions. So we may be able to hear the DPRK's response in today's meeting at the Panmunjom. Back to you, Mike.
All right, Eugene Jung in Seoul for us. Thank you. During